we know that the beta blockers are one of the mainstay of treatment in the management of heart failure, and there are 3 or 4 beta blockers which are being time tested during the last 20 years for the treatment of systolic heart failure or congestive heart failure, and those are carvedilol, nebivolol, bisoprolol, and metoprolol. Now, amongst these 4 beta blockers which are being used routinely in our practice for the management of congestive heart failure or systolic heart failure, now which beta blocker is superior in what situation, that up till now we are not sure, but there are some studies which are available to us, and from which you can say that some particular beta blocker like bisoprolol, which is much more cardioselective, and they can be safely used in patients who are having associated comorbid conditions like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or bronchial asthma. Because you know that in congestive heart failure there are a lot of other associated comorbid conditions like COPD, bronchial asthma, chronic kidney disease, and so many other situations. So similarly, nebivolol, if we talk about the nebivolol in the management of heart failure, now we know that the nebivolol is a cardioselective beta blocker, but at the same time also it has got a nitric oxide donor effect. It donates nitric oxide in the endothelium, and thus it has got additional superior extra action in the management of heart failure in addition to the beta blockade. Metoprolol, if you consider the metoprolol is a cardioselective beta blocker, and definitely it is one of the main sustained release or long-acting release beta blocker which is being used for management of congestive heart failure. But the problem is that still we are a little bit wary to use it in situations where patient is having associated chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or bronchial asthma. And then another beta blocker, that is carvedilol. Now carvedilol, in fact, carvedilol is the beta blocker of choice in the management of systolic heart failure because of the fact that there are a lot of trials which are available to us from 1990s that this carvedilol is very much effective in the management of heart failure. But also at the same time we have to see that carvedilol is not a potent beta blocker, and at the same time carvedilol is not a cardioselective beta blocker. It has got both alpha and beta blocking action, alpha 1 and alpha 2 blocking, beta 1 and beta 2 blocking action, and alpha blocking action. So in that way, though it is very much effective in the management of heart failure, but it is not that purely or overtly cardioselective. So there lies the problem. So it can sometimes precipitate the bronchospasm, or it can aggravate the situation in patients who are having chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So if we consider some studies, if we are having some studies in our hand which can compare this bisoprolol, carvedilol, and nebivolol in situations particularly where there is some associated lung problems, and we can assess that cardiovascular and pulmonary problems by additional tests like cardiopulmonary exercise test and diffusion capacity or DLCO, and we can assess these 3 beta blockers in these sort of situations, and we can come to a conclusion which of these 3 beta blockers, that is carvedilol, nebivolol, and bisoprolol, is better in situations where we are going to manage congestive heart failure, in addition to the comorbid conditions like patient is having chronic lung disease like COPD, bronchial asthma, or emphysema. So we have got a trial in our hand at this moment, and that is Carnegie trial. And this Carnegie trial, where we have used 3 beta blockers, nebivolol, carvedilol, and bisoprolol. And this is a randomized trial. It is a phase 4 trial, and this trial, it is abbreviated name is Carnegie trial, and it is this trial is being done only in patients who are having congestive heart failure or systolic heart failure or heart failure, whatever it may be, and the patient's age group is from 80 to 65 years of age, and it is a crossover study, and 61 patients of heart failure were being taken. At first they were given this carvedilol for 2 months, and then switched over after a washout period to nebivolol, and after 2 months then he switched over to bisoprolol after a washout period. So it is a crossover trial, and after each 2 months after this trial with each of these beta blockers, that is carvedilol, nebivolol, and bisoprolol, and this routine testing that has been done, that is DLCO and membrane diffusion, then of course the chemoreceptor sensitivity, and then echocardiography, spirometry, and workload in normoxic and hypoxic situations, and maximal cardiopulmonary exercise test. These are the tests which is being done after these 2 months of giving these beta blockers, each of these beta blockers. And what are the results showed? These results showed that DLCO, that is diffusion carbon monoxide diffusion capacity, DLCO was lower on carvedilol in comparison to nebivolol and bisoprolol. So in situations where the patient is having associated pulmonary disease, we have to be wary to use this carvedilol. So we should rather avoid carvedilol in patients who are having some evidence of chronic lung disease, and because of this result, that means DLCO was lower on carvedilol. Now, then constant workload exercise showed that in hypoxia there was faster VO2 kinetic and lower ventilation with carvedilol. Peripheral and central sensitivity to carbon dioxide was lower in carvedilol, while response to hypoxia was higher in bisoprolol. So these are the results which are a little bit confusing. Now ventilatory efficiency similarly was lower in carvedilol and nebivolol, and little bit higher on bisoprolol. Peak VO2 was more little bit in nebivolol and bisoprolol. So if you compare these results, if you consider these results, so only conclusion we can draw from these studies that carvedilol is not a superior drug in patients who are having systolic heart failure. In addition to that, there is some suspicion of comorbid pulmonary disease. So we should better avoid carvedilol. So whatever these results which is available to us, what we can say that in this situation, bisoprolol is the best drug or most safer drug in patients who are having systolic heart failure with some suspicion of chronic lung disease. So in fact, I am using in my day-to-day practice in these sort of situations where we are treating systolic heart failure with ejection fraction less than 45% and patient is having some evidence or some history of chronic obstructive lung disease or bronchial asthma or emphysema, and here the best option is bisoprolol. And bisoprolol in these sort of situations, we are, from my experience, what I am using, I am studying 2.5 milligram and maximum we are going up to 10 milligram. So 2.5 to 10 milligram bisoprolol in these sort of situations, depending upon the resting heart rate, depending upon the blood pressure response and heart rate response. Because you know that in these sort of situations, you have to keep the resting heart rate around about 55 to 60, and the blood pressure is about 130 by 80. We have to keep it. And in most of the situations, we are achieving this heart rate and this resting pulse rate, that is about 55 to 60 by maximum dose of bisoprolol, that is 10 milligram daily, once in a day. So in conclusion, what I can say from my practice and also from this studies, Carnegie study, that bisoprolol is a much more safer drug in our day-to-day practice in management of systolic heart failure, particularly when there is some suspicion of chronic lung disease like COPD, bronchial asthma and emphysema. And I think this is the safest drug, and we should not be hesitant to use this drug in these sort of situations because it do not precipitate bronchospasm, and also particularly if there is a situation that if there is associated peripheral vascular disease, there also it has been found out that we can use this molecule, that is bisoprolol, safely in patients who are having associated peripheral vascular disease also, because of the fact that bisoprolol is the most super selective beta blocker in comparison to the carvedilol and nebivolol. And I think, so our message is that the bisoprolol is the most effective and the most safer drug or most safest drug in patients to treat congestive heart failure where there is some sort of associated comorbid conditions like peripheral vascular disease and chronic lung disease.